So we created this asset. There is only one asset in, there are two assets, but we completed the cycle for this. So we created this director car. Why we said director class? This was director cars, right? Car, not the class. Okay, anyways, this is just a description. So we created this director car as a vehicle, and then we proceeded with the acquisition cycle. Okay, so we already acquired this asset. So if I go to more and click on asset explorer, let me see where exactly it is showing asset values. If not, maybe let's go out and click on just a minute. Normally it shows you asset values here. Let's go to the depreciation areas and see. Asset values. Okay, so normally in ECC, because we are using the 7.5 GUI, it is not showing us the button directly, but there was a button here where you can directly go to the asset values. So if you click on asset values, it will take you to Asset Explorer report, and in the Asset Explorer, it will show you that this asset was acquired on this particular date at this much amount with this transaction type. Okay, and in case of IFRS, it will show you some other amount because we additionally posted this 1000 as a debit entry to this particular asset, which is related to the freight. Okay, and system has automatically calculated this depreciation amounts for the year, and then we also posted the depreciation for a particular month. Okay, and we are not left with much in asset accounting now, but we are only left with how to do the retirement or how to scrap the asset. Okay, where there is no change, as I told you, but only thing is, let's see that how it works. So if you now want to retire this asset, you will follow the same path that we were using in ECC. That is, you will go to accounting, financial accounting, fixed assets. Okay, in the postings, you will go for this retirement. Okay, otherwise this transfer, AUC and all, there is no change at all. Whatever things you were doing in AUC transfer, exactly same. Even in retirement, there is no change. But why I'm showing you this is because you should not get confused that in acquisition, there is a technical clearing account, but this technical clearing account will be also there in the retirement or not. Okay, so that is the reason I'm just showing you. So if you go to retirement, there are multiple options, whether you want to retire with revenue or you want to retire without revenue. So I'm going with retirement with revenue, and I will double click on this F-92, which means I'm retiring the asset and I'm selling it to the customer. Okay, and let's say I want to retire this asset on 31st of 03/2020. Okay, or maybe, I think this would be better. So 31st of March 2020, which means after 1 year of useful life of the asset. Now again, you can see here in SAP ECC, even if you go for the retirement of the asset, the default document type which system was picking was document type AA. Okay, but here in retirement, it is taking DR because again, system is going to create two different documents, one for the normal operational document and two documents for valuation specific. But please remember, there is no need of technical clearing account here. Okay, I'll show you why. So just keep it as it is. We are using document type DR, and then in the posting key 01, you have to specify the customer. Okay, as in ECC. In ECC also you specify the customer here, which customer is buying this asset from you. Okay, so I will specify the customer. Let's see if he created any customer. We have not created any customer, right? We just created the vendors. Okay, so if I want to create a customer, again, if I try old transaction, that is XD01. So if you remember, we have seen these transactions are no more available, and when you do this XD01, system will redirect the control to transaction BP as transaction XT01 is obsolete. Okay, and system will automatically try to take you to BP, where it will ask you want to create this business partner as person, organization, or group. So for customer and vendors, we are always going to select on organization, click on continue. So system has automatically determined the role FLCU00 for company code data and FLCU01 for sales area data. Okay, so we need to provide the grouping. So let's say I'm going with this grouping, which is 0001, and then system is asking us some mandatory information. So name of the customer, let's say as a test customer for SF01. Okay, just provide some search term and this some mandatory fields. So let me enter some postal code, city, country, and language. Okay, so where is language? So here is language. Just provide this and then click on company code data. Okay, and we want to create this customer at company code SF01. Okay, so just select this and press enter. System will ask you for the reconciliation account. Okay, so you have to provide the reconciliation account here. Now again, I don't think we created any reconciliation account for AR. So we will go to transaction FS00. Okay, and here we will just create a new account for AR. Okay, so I'm just deleting this and it is, let's say, 204 new. Oh, it's already created, so we cannot use this number. Let's go with 205 and see if we can create this. I think this is also, no, this is not created. So GL account type would be balance sheet account. Account group also would be balance sheet. This will be accounts receivables. Okay, go to control data. We have to specify that this account is of reconciliation account type customers. Okay, in the create bank interest tab, we have to specify the free status group, and normally we keep this as G067 for reconciliation accounts. Okay, so just click on save. So this will create our AR account, which we can use in the creation of customer. Okay, so now it is coming here. Let's do this 205 and click on save. So now we have a customer which we can use in the sale transaction, sale of asset. Okay, so we can use this business partner number 67, but the customer number is 16. I think you already remember that these numbers can be different or these numbers can be same based on the configuration of business partner master data synchronization. Okay, so now I'll be using this customer number 16 in my transactions. So if I go to retirement here, if I click on start search again, system is showing me this customer. Okay, so in asset retirement, back to asset retirement, in the asset retirement, only difference that you can see is document type DR instead of AA. Okay, just press enter, enter, another enter. Okay, now in amount, we have to specify whatever amount you want to, let's say, sell. So what is the value? Let's enter it here. Let me remove all these things from here first. Okay, so what we are discussing is asset value as of 31st/03/2020. Okay, so what would be the value in terms of 0L and what would be the value in terms of IF? What would be the net book value? If you go to transaction AW01N, it will show you the net value of this asset as of the end of the year. Okay, so you can see if you just bring this down. So at the end of year 2019, the value of this asset, the net book value of this asset according to IFRS would be 8250. Okay, so this would be 8250, and according to 0L, according to the leading ledger, what would be the value? So in order to check that, we will go to book depreciation values, and the value would be 8000. Okay, so for 0L the value would be 8000, and for IFRS value would be 8250. Now let's say we are selling this asset at 8100. So can you tell me whether we are selling this asset at profit or at loss? So for 0L, is it a profit or is it a loss? The net book value at the end of the year is 8000 and we are selling at 8100. So in 0L, are we making a profit or a loss? Net book value is 8000, we are selling at 8100. So profit or loss in asset sales?
Profit only.
It will be profit, right? How much profit? The profit of 100. So you are gaining 100. What about in terms of IFRS? It would be loss of 150, right? So if you are selling the asset at 8100, according to the leading ledger, there will be the profit of 100. According to the IFRS, there will be the loss of 150. Okay, so let's do this. Let's try how the system behaves. So if we are creating the customer invoice, I have to specify the amount at which we are selling this asset. So 8100, and then I have to specify the posting key, okay, which is for asset retirement. So normally even in ECC also we use posting key 50, okay, and we provide the asset sales account here. Okay, but we have still not created any asset sales account. So again, I need to go for transaction FS00 to create that account. So FS00, let's create a new account. What would be the profit? This will be the revenue account. So let's say 300. I don't think we have created any revenue account till now. So GL account type for revenue account would be primary cost or revenue. Okay, account group would be profit and loss. Okay, so this is sale from asset. Okay, or asset sales account. Right, in the control data, since this is a primary cost or revenue account, I have to specify the cost element category. Okay, because system will definitely create a cost element for this, and we will go with this cost element for revenue, that is 11. And then in create bank interest tab, we will go with field status group. Let's go with revenue accounts, but there is one problem. In the revenue accounts, it will not allow us to select the asset. Let's see in the configuration. So in asset accounting, see, we need this asset retirement and sub number available. This should not be suppressed. Okay, so for this, we have to go for transaction OBC4, which is related to the field status version, and our field status version is SF01, or maybe we are using 0001. We have not created our own. And here in field status groups for G0 to 9, we have to make this optional. Have you understood why I'm doing this? Anybody has any question? I'm not doing anything new, but if you have any question why you are doing this and why you are not doing that, please ask, so that everybody understands what we are doing. Okay, why I'm doing this is, currently I want to use this GL account for asset sales, And if I'm using this for asset sales, I have to tell the system this revenue belongs to which asset. And that is the reason system should allow me to enter the asset number. That is the reason I specified that. I'll show you how it will work now. So if I go to the customer item, I have to provide the GL account. So just now I created GL account 300, which is asset sales. I have to specify the transaction type. Okay, what is transaction type? Earlier we provided transaction type 100, in which we said we are purchasing the asset. Similarly, for retirement, whenever you are retiring the asset, the transaction type is 210. Okay, just specify 210, press enter. It is asking you for asset number. Just give me a minute. Okay, let's see. Just provide the asset number here, or maybe let's do one thing. Just give me a minute. I think I'm doing something wrong. I have to remove this transaction type. I have to specify the account.
Transaction type is 110.
110.
I think so.
No, I think I'm doing this wrong. Okay, let's try one thing. So 50 and yeah, sorry, Akash.
Or maybe posting is not a 50 but 75. I think so.
I think it would pick automatically. Okay, let's try one thing. I think I should not provide any transaction type here. Just press enter, and I have to provide the transaction type here. Yes, I remember now. So the amount you have to provide, whatever amount you specified. Let's say you are selling at 8,100. Then you have to tick on this indicator and double click on the asset retirement. This is always a problem, even in ECC also. So you have to be very careful when you are double clicking on this. Then only that one screen will open. Okay, so cannot do anything from here. Let's go back once again. F-92. This depends upon your mouse screen. It is very critical indicator. So posting key would be also 31st03/2020. Here you have to provide the customer account, which is 16. Just press enter. Amount at which you want to sell. Here you have to provide the posting key 50, and you have to provide the GL account for the sales revenue. Press enter. Amount of 8,100, and this is very critical here. This needs to come. Let's see if I can see in the more. No. Do you remember anyone? You need to double click on this asset retirement. You have to provide the transaction type 210. Whether the asset is completely retired or partially retired, you have to provide in this screen.
Click on asset retirement and click on more. That time you have to give cost center data.
Let's try. No cost center. We don't want to provide cost center data. We want to provide asset number, and we want to provide the transaction type. This is always a problem. Many customers complain. It is nothing to do with it. Just the click of mouse. How fast is your mouse? Let's try Akash suggestion. So 8,100, posting key 50. We have to provide the revenue account. Just press enter. So here let's provide the amount first. So here normally, okay, let's tick on this. Now you want me to go to more, Akash? No, see, it is not asking for asset. Normally when you tick on this retirement, and if you double click on this, it gives you separate screen where you need to provide the asset number and whether you want to retire it completely or partially.
I think give cost center return, then enter.
Let's try
Yeah.
whether it's okay. Let's try. You will always get this error, but okay, we can just allow the revenue postings to this cost center as of now. So KS02, this cost center, and control. I'm just removing this as of now. And then again, let's go to invoice, enter. No, okay. Let's do one thing. Let's try once again. F-92, 31st/3/01, which is 16. Amount 50, 300, which is our account. Okay, now I am providing cost center. Okay, and then asset retirement, and let's double click here. Yes, this is the screen which I was talking about. So normally, if your mouse, it always depends upon your mouse speed. If your mouse is okay, so what happens is, it will not ask you for cost center, because anyways you are providing the asset, and cost center will be automatically picked from your asset. Okay, you can see transaction type is coming automatically. You don't need to provide it manually in the last screen. So here you just provide the asset number, which asset you want to sell. So we want to sell this asset. Okay, and the value date of the asset would be 31st/03/2020. Okay, and if you are retiring it partially, so you have to provide the quantity, percentage, or the amount. But if you want to completely retire the asset, you will click on complete retirement. Okay, so just select complete retirement, click on continue. Now obviously it will ask you different questions, because system will not be able to find the GL accounts. Right, in AO90 we are maintaining the accounts whenever system is asking us, because we want to see what is the impact of each and every process. Right, so if you try to simulate this, definitely system will ask you in which GL account shall I post the gain or loss which is made from the asset sales. Okay, so if I go for more, document, and simulate, you can see it is asking different GL accounts. So clearing account for revenue. So this accounts we have to specify one by one. So in one shot, I will just create some GL accounts related to assets, and then I will assign those GL accounts in the configuration. So again, I'm going to FS00. I need to create one GL account, which would be, now again, it depends upon the customer whether they want to create two separate GL accounts, one for gain and other for loss, or whether they want to create one single account which will be responsible for gain as well as loss. So if it is in gain, it would be posted in minus, and if it is loss, it would be posted in plus as a debit, right? So let's create one only, 301, which is of type profit and loss again. So it would be primary cost or revenue, profit and loss account, and this is gain, loss. We are creating just one account on asset sales. Okay, in the control data, nothing is mandatory. If you want, you can maintain it, otherwise just go to create bank interest tab, and this is of type cost. Okay, so just click on, sorry, in the control data, since it is primary cost, you have to specify the cost element category mandatorily. So you can keep it at 1 or 11, doesn't matter. Just as of now, I'm making 1, because even we are not sure whether it would be expense or it would be revenue. So if it is positive, it is expense. If it is negative, it is a revenue. Okay, so now this 301 account we have to assign in the configuration. So AO90, where we maintain different GL accounts for our asset accounting. So chart of depreciation is SF02. Chart of account is SF01. Account determination. So whatever we are maintaining for the vehicles. Balance sheet accounts. Book depreciation. So you can see there are some GL accounts related to retirement. Okay, so this section is completely for retirement related. So loss made on asset retirement without revenue. So we only created one account, so I'm just providing that everywhere. Clearing account, revenue from sale. This one we created the revenue account, which is 300. Gain from asset sales, again 301, because gain and loss, I only created one GL account. Even for loss also, I will specify the same thing. Okay, so in short, if you want to segregate these different accounts, so this is without revenue, which means this GL account will be impacted when you scrap the asset. These two GL accounts, one is for gain, other for loss. You can have two different GL accounts or you can have same account. It is completely okay. Okay, so just save this. And now if you proceed with that invoice, customer invoice, let's again go to more, document and simulate. Maybe once more, document and simulate. It is still asking for the same, sorry, it is asking for depreciation area 02. So we have to maintain for 02 also. So just go back in 02 area and provide the same thing, whatever we provided earlier. So 301, 300, 301 and 301. Okay, and now if I go to the customer invoice, more, document, simulate, once again, more, document, simulate. I think it is working now. So you can see what is happening here. Customer is getting debited for 8,100, which means our accounts receivables is getting debited by 8,100 and our revenue account is getting credited by 8,100. Okay, but apart from this, there are also some other things which are happening in the asset accounting. So if you click on asset accounting, it will give you the complete picture. Okay, so you can see what is happening. So currently we are seeing this picture for IFRS, or maybe we are looking at Indian GAAP. Yeah, we are looking at the India GAAP as of now. So in case of India GAAP, customer will pay us 8,100. We purchase this asset at 10,000. We are selling this asset at 8,100. The depreciation which is already used is 2,000, which means 10,000 minus 2,000, 8,000 is a asset value as of today. Okay, and again, this is a clearing account, you can see. This is coming in DR also, and this is coming in AA also. So in terms of asset acquisition, which was this technical clearing account, it was playing the same role. In case of revenue, although we don't have any technical clearing account, but this asset sales account is playing the same role. The role of asset sales account is exactly same as the technical clearing account in case of your acquisition. Now, is this new? Do you think this posting is new? There were no clearing accounts earlier in ECC. In ECC, at the time of retirement, there were always the clearing account. This is nothing new, but only new thing is it was actually getting all these lines were getting posted in one single document. But now these lines are getting segregated into two documents. So DR and AA, and again for IFRS, there will be another AA document. So for retirement also, one operational document, two valuation specific documents. So you can see there is a gain of 100. Minus means gain. Why? Because minus is revenue. Okay, in your accounting, basic accounting principles also, minus means revenue and plus means expenses in terms of profit and loss postings. So 100 is debit. Is it correct? So we said yes, we will be making the profit of 100 in our 0L, that is India GAAP. What about IFRS? So if you go for IFRS, if you just change this to IFRS and company code currency, you can see same thing. Accounts receivables 8,100, which means customer will pay us 8,100. Sale is of 8,100. 11,000 was the purchasing cost, the acquisition value. 2,750 has been depreciated already till this date on 31st 3rd 2020, and then 150 is your profit. Sorry, 150 is your loss because this is in expense side. So there is a loss of 150.
Gaurav,
Yes.
in ECC, can you explain clearly what will be the accounting entry separately?
In ECC, accounting entry, okay. So yes, let me explain here what will happen in ECC in case of retirement. So whenever you retire the asset, there will be only one document type AA, okay, which will have first line as AR. Okay, so in this case, AR would be 8,100. You have sales, which would be again minus 8,100, okay, which will be in the minus sign. Then you will have the acquisition cost. Let me move this a little further. Yeah, acquisition cost of 10,000 because we purchased this asset for 10,000. Accumulated depreciation of 2,000. So this would be minus because this is already done. And then the last one would be profit or loss. Okay, which should be how much? It would be 100. So if you see this is settled, there will be one more entry for sales again, but this time it would be plus 8,100. So these two are settled. If you just take this into Excel, let me take this into Excel.
So here the asset sales is acting as a clearing account. That is what you're saying.
Yes, even in ECC, yes, even in ECC, this asset sales account is acting as a clearing account.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so now if you see, let me write this again. So delete. Why it is not allowing me to delete? Okay, let's enter a new line here. So this is 8,100 debit because you are receiving from the customer. Sales will be minus, so minus 8,100. Acquisition was plus 10,000. Accumulated depreciation was, just give me a minute. This would go away. This would not come, right? You are selling it, right? So it would be minus 10,000. Accumulated depreciation will be plus 2,000, which you already used. This would be profit, right? So profit is minus, so minus 100, and sales again would be 8,100 because this is a clearing account. So if you sum this should be 0, right? Can you see the 0? So this would be the accounting entry in SAP ECC, but all these lines will be part of one single document because in SAP ECC we don't have the concept of dividing the document into two parts, operational and valuation specific. This particular functionality is already introduced in S/4HANA, right? So the postings will be same, but only thing is now these lines are segregated into two parts, your operational and valuation specific. Understood, Varun?
Yeah, Gaurav.
Yes. So you can see here also these are 6 lines, but only thing is half of the lines are with document type DR and half of the lines are with document type AA. So revenue and customer is segregated and all related to asset accounting are segregated in another document. Okay, so if it looks okay, you can just click on post and it will post the document. Okay, so forget about this. We are not going to post this because it will ask you for many different things which are part of ECC without any change. So there is no item category. This is related to the document splitting functionality where you have to assign this GL account 300 to the account assignment category. Okay, so if you assign that, then this document will be posted without any problem. Okay, if you want, we can just solve this by going to document splitting functionality. So SPRO IMG general ledger accounting, business transactions, document splitting, and classify GL accounts. So new, we are getting this error for GL 300. Okay, but definitely it will ask you many others. So 300 to 300. And this is our expense account, right? So we can directly provide this as expense account and click on save. But I don't think it will allow us to save. We have to again go back and try to post it again. Let's try. Now we have to go again for F-92. Okay, so once more. So 01, here I need to provide the customer, press enter, provide the amount at which you want to sell. Here you have to provide 50. You cannot provide 75 here. 75 system will automatically determine. Even in ECC also, the posting key which you specify in the second line is 50 and you provide here the asset clearing account. Okay, so just press enter, specify the amount, and then normally we don't need to provide this cost center, but if your mouse is working fine, you can just ignore this. Otherwise you have to provide it. Just tick on this asset retirement, double click on this. This screen will get opened. Here you need to specify which asset are you selling. Transaction type will come automatically. You have to provide the asset value date and tick on complete retirement, continue. Just click on continue if you are getting this message. Okay, and click on post. So I think the continue was not working, so I've clicked on cancel. So maybe when you are practicing, just click on cancel and post. Now there is another error, constant Z001 for ledger. I don't know who created this ledger, exclamation mark star. Okay, so don't worry, because if you keep on solving this error, you will not be able to proceed with this. Okay, so this is, I think somebody has created a new ledger for which they have not maintained this configuration. So better, if you are getting this kind of errors, just deactivate the document splitting for your company code. Okay, and then these errors are not relevant to you because you don't have this ledger in your company code. Okay, but only in the test system. When you are using the production system, all ledgers are your ledgers, right? You cannot assume that this ledger is not created by me, so this is not a ledger that I should be worried about. In the production system, all the ledgers which are created, those are belonging to the same client. Okay, so not like us, we are creating our own ledgers when we are creating the company code. That will be the completely different scenario, and you have to take care of this error if it is coming in the production system. Okay, but anyways, if you need to solve this, can you tell me how to solve this? Is it a new thing? This is also in ECC. So constant Z001 for ledger does not contains any value. So what you will do in document splitting, there is a constant. So you just have to create a constant for this ledger to solve this error. Okay, any questions till now in the asset retirements or anything related to assets, related to new asset accounting?